views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
You are listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I'm going to empower you and teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality to reveal the steps you need to let go of your perceived limitations. Have you had the limiting self-talk over and over? Have you noticed you allow your fears to hold you back? If you're truly ready for change, I invite you to join me, Tracy L. Clark, and start your journey of transformation now. Welcome to another episode this week of the Tracy L. Clark Show. Today we're going to talk about the frequency and the energy of money. But first, you probably noticed that there's a little bit of tension in the air. People might have felt a little bit uneasy. Perhaps you're feeling uneasy. It's going to be part of our world. Just breathe, keep following, doing your work. We'll give you some more exercises. And really, if I can give you something, I did this with my miraculous group, and something that I really want to impart and open for each and every one of you is take a look at all the things you've gone through and you've come through in your life. So often we forget, and those things become in the past. And then we're like, oh, we got through it. But then a new little challenge comes up. And when you really can be in that gratitude for your highs, your lows, your ups, your downs, there's an awareness that shifts in your heart, and there's this beautiful space that starts to unfold. So just do that and look at it and really smile and give thanks to it, because those downs that felt so bad, like you were never going to get through it, whether it's financial, emotional, relationship, or just about yourself and how you feel about yourself, that's what makes you stronger, but that's what makes you who you are. So we love the glory realm here. We love when miracles happen. I love when people say to me, guess what happened, Tracy? This, and this, and we've shifted the energy. But your biggest breakthroughs come from when you're going through the bottom of the barrel, when you're like, how am I going to get through this? This is how we all get our biggest breakthroughs. It's how I got through my biggest breakthroughs, how you are. And that's why we have the TLC community to help you get through that. There's a few things I want to share. This has been an incredible week for me. This is a big week. Like people say, Tracy, do you have ups and downs and what happens? Sure, I do. I'm a human being. And, this is a big week. My eldest daughter turns 25 tomorrow. My little one left this morning to go, off into the world for the next year or 2 years, however, far away from home. And it's all these changes and shifts. And you start to realize, you look and, it's even my eldest daughter's boyfriend gets his dream job, and we were out celebrating all three of them yesterday. And so proud of all of them and taking risks and taking adventures. And, I look and I'm like, oh, I'm only 27. How can you be 25? It's like, I always joke with myself that way. So there is an art to be able to DH, guys. We'll teach that to you. But it's all of these changes and the emotions that come with it, right? And then you start to really realize the strength. And if anybody knows my story or have heard me speak in the past or attended any of our events, you've heard me say, like, I literally, when I had my near-death experiences, my final reason of staying was my youngest daughter after the third one. And then the way it all happened, I'm not going to go into it today, but she basically came home and said, Mom, what would happen if I came home and you were dad? And my children kept me here. My children gave me the strength. Otherwise, I would have just left. I didn't want to be here at all. Like, I get when you guys go through pain and struggle. I totally get it. And they made me who I am today. They were my biggest supporters, and we were super tight. So yeah, these transitions, we all go through them, and we love them and we support them. And so what in your life are you really ready to expand more of? What do you want to expand more of? And where are you really willing to look at the shifts? And when we talk even about the frequency of money, and I want to share my younger daughter's testimonial for each and every one of you, because there's energy in the testimonials in the spirit. And just take that with you, is when she was preparing to leave, she needed X amount of money and she had a goal. And she said, Mom, I don't know if I'm going to reach that goal. And I said, but you've always been an incredible money manifester. You imagine when you're leaving for a very long time, over a year or more, that there's a certain cushion that you would want. And I was driving her to the airport this morning very early, and she said, I hit the goal. I hit the goal. And she quit her regular job 2 weeks ago 2 weeks ago, and she hit her goal. So, which tells you there were so many blessings and financial blessings. And she was the kind of kid that says, I don't need to work. I go outside and find money. And she would find money. Like we'd go to the mall. She'd want to get something and she'd open the door, and her door, she'd look down. There'd be $50 sitting at her door in that parking spot. And she's a great creator this way. And she's always been just drawn into that field, that it's just going to happen. And even though she has her stresses and worries, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. She stays in that energy. It's already done. And when she has a worry, she expresses it. This is my worry or my concern. And I'm like, well, let's remove that energy and that imprinting, and let's just open you up for a little bit more. So it's also about how you talk to your body and what's happening in the body. I know, if anybody also, for people who were on our live event with Tom Palladino, you've seen him here on Transformation Talk Radio. We've teamed up. You're going to see him more. We broke the internet happens, right? So I'll be sending out that replay. I'm really happy because our community is willing to really repair you and help you see the beauty that you're in. So that is coming. We had a lot of questions. Also, I want to encourage you to go to the website. We have a soul getaway coming up in May in 2020. Really only 22 spots. You can put your name on the list and be the first to know if it's something for you. You just get the email first before anybody else, because it's a very limited space. But it's in May. It's on the beach with me. And we're going to have a lot of fun looking at a lot. This is a play time. This is not super, super serious, but you're going to have some big breakthroughs of loving yourself, encouraging who you are. We're going to be working on all areas of life for a full week, and good food and dancing and excursions and just so much fun in a very high-end, beautiful space. And I'm really excited because one of the things of shifting energy very quickly is you need to be in the energy of play. And people forget that in our heavy world and the way things feel right now. And when you're especially even creating in a different wealth frequency, it's about getting in the play energy. And I don't know if you realize, if you start to focus on money too fast, or like too hard, where it's always your focus, it creates like a plug in your drain. So if you've ever plugged up your toilet or your sink, that's what happens energetically. And it's like, why isn't it flowing? Where am I not taking responsibility or accountability? And really looking outside yourself. So one, you got to take your attention off of it and really, but still work with it. So you really become in charge of that energy. And also understanding where is your level of real service in the world. There's a very giving and receiving in that energy of money and all of that space. So where is that place, and how can you shift more to receive more in your life? And what are you really wanting to receive and deserve? And a lot of people go down to just those patterns. You see a lot in different e-courses. Just get rid of, you deserve, or I'm worthy. And I see people do this. They go into a spirit of, I call it a delusion, where they're like, well, I'm worthy of like $1,500 an hour. Meanwhile, they've never had a client or whatever their new space is, because they heard you got to put out what your worth is. Anywhere anybody's done that, I'm going to remove that, because there is a gradual space of you believing things, you embracing your worth, but also looking through your patterns. How did you grow up? What was your energy with a wealth frequency? Because wealth isn't just money, right? Wealth is your health, your vitality. Like when I go to other countries, those people are way more wealthy than I see most people in my back door, because they never have enough, yet they have so much. Yet these families are so in gratitude to just be with their family and joy and fun. And that energy really keeps the attention off. So yes, there's different things that we have to adjust for. So global economic issues, collective consciousness. So if you're struggling or saying, I feel like I'm struggling on a financial frequency, also understand there's a lot of collective programming, meaning how many people in the planet are having the same thought processes that you are having, and you're all joining together. So the one analogy I use a lot, and I like to use, is when stock markets crash, right? And they correct. And then people are like, oh, the sky's falling. Whereas the day before, they didn't really think much of it because they weren't really paying attention to it, or they maybe didn't have as much information, or they didn't realize cycles, or so they weren't getting educated on what was happening. So it's like a big balloon. And then that next day, it's like everybody's energy goes into that one thought process that's being, pushed out into the world. And then they get more fear, and then they draw that fear back into their field, which creates other turmoil in their own financial space. Because there's lots of people, when they stay out of it, it doesn't affect them. They've had the knowledge ahead of time. They've listened to their intuition. They've been set up a little bit differently. So this is what happens. This is how you can get out of the collective consciousness of wealth and money and frequencies is not follow the masses. Like, do not follow the masses. Follow what you know. Learn different ways of being, different ways of interacting with your money, and also look at what are your patterns. And even today, you can go out and you're like, okay, did I give to somebody today, or did I take away from somebody today? Did I really, give with my whole heart, or am I looking for what I need or what I require? And was the day when you went and you paid for something, were you feeling anxious about it, or were you just feeling neutral about it? And when you can start to feel neutral about it, you can start to see the flow can change. Then you see different opportunities. Are you thanking Spirit every day for different opportunities? Are you thanking Spirit for different ways of showing up in your life? And really, I'm not talking the easy way. Like, people will come to me all the time and say, well, I don't want to work. I just want to have money show up. And that's okay. You can create that. But here's the thing that people miss on that. If you get a bunch of wealth that just shows up, you're going to, one, lose it, because two, if you don't have the vibrational match, it usually will disappear. But you'll get bored. Like, you got to have a purpose. You have to have a reason, a drive. And it can't be because of the money. Like, when I started doing this business, in this business and field almost 10 years ago now, my drive is I wanted to help people. I could have gone back into corporate and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had lots of offers. I turned it off and said, I want to do what I love. Did it mean struggle? Sure it did. Because I didn't mean using my savings? Sure it did. Did it mean digging in a different way? Absolutely. But I trusted, I loved it. And every day I was so happy to work with people and see people that I was like, it'll work out. I don't care. It'll work out. So you want to find a place and a space in your life where you can be in joy and happiness with what you're doing. And then what happens is you start to open new doors, you open new realms, and then new opportunities come in, new partnerships come in. And sometimes we have to do things we don't like. Like, for a little bit, I still would bridge old deals to create some money that I needed while I was building my business that I do now. And I never look at it as work. It's like play, shifting you guys, having fun with you guys. It's like total play, because I'm in the joy of it. And so things change. So I want to thank that hand of God of just letting go of any energy that is really where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in the grind, or I'm not liking what I do, or I feel like I'm just here for a paycheck. Because when you're there for a paycheck and you're not willing to do something different, that's where you get into this energy that gets really heavy. And basically you're the slave to the money. And we don't want it that way. So I do want to answer a question that came from last week, and it's a little bit of our topic that was last week, but it felt really important to me to answer this one for her. So for Naya in New York, hopefully she'll hear this one this week. She had a twin flame, and she was separating with him for over 3 years, and a lot of lying, a lot of deceit, and wondering how, can disconnect that, release that. And one of the things too, and the reason I really felt compelled to answer this for her and to shift it, is remove the karmic issues and fear. Because also, I don't know if you know this, but the partnerships that you hook up to, if there's lies or their wealth vibe isn't moving or shifting, it can also affect yours. So in my marriage, he had a very low wealth vibe, and I had a high wealth vibe, and then it kept sinking us. I had to work twice as hard to bring it in. So when I left that, my wealth vibe started to actually move up again. And so I just want with people with relationships, please be discerning, make sure you both do your work and you both understand that you have to be shifting all the time. But when we also have these connections that we feel like there's the spirit of betrayal, so it can be with relationship or with money, we're going to start to remove that energy. Just tune in. The people that may have lied to you, may have made you feel less than, I'm going to thank that hand of God of removing all of that energy out for each and every one of you. And I want to just break the karmic bonds, the vows and the oaths for Naya as well that she had with this partner, and just really set her heart free, and to remove any there's a lot of internal the word they use is very strong, that your guides is like hatred of like, how did I get betrayed like this? But so that sounds like a harsh word, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. So you didn't do anything wrong. It was just a lesson, but it looks like there was a big karma clearing ending. So the thing I do like is it's actually a lot clearer going forward, and your heart is holding on to what you thought it was going to be versus what it actually was. So we can remove all that energy and start to open the heart differently. But I'm going to thank that hand of God at speaking in a little bit more heart mend, heart repair, and letting the heartbreak and ache just dissipate, and letting those thoughts and expectations of what you thought you were going to have in the future start to dissolve and liquefy, so it doesn't affect you moving forward and it's easier to move forward. Okay, so that was very on my heart to do that for her. And I wanted to make sure that we got that. We always listen on the Tracy L. Clark Show to what the Hen of God tells us, Spirit tells us, and that's where we go. So the frequency of money, we have a lot of callers on, we're going to get to right away. And what are the systems you grew up with? What are you ready to break up with when it comes to finances? What are you ready to really, let go of and embrace something new of? I always say to my miraculous round, what are you ready to break up with? So let's do some of that today. All right. Carta, you have Malin on the phone?
Yep, Malin from Toronto. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Malin.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's your question today?
Okay, so my question is the breakup, calling a quit with not taking the proper risks when it comes to our financial situation, when everything is being presented, but then we're like, oh, do I do this now, or the market might fall so I could take a better position, hold a long term, just to know fully when to get in those financial situations where we might be having a lower wealth vibe because maybe we picked up on it and we know we kind of already did some clearing, but then it starts to creep up again.
Yeah. And so what happens too, when we're in this global space of uncertainty and we hear different things in the news and then different thought patterns and processes, it can get a little bit confusing too in the mental place, right? So what we'll start to do is first I have to remove uncertainty. And then what we have to do actually is remove, it looks like a whole encyclopedia of information that is old information for you of how you actually take a risk and for you, that works for you. So I have to reset like your risk tolerance, so to speak. And for everyone, I have to also reset gambling, the spirit of gambling. And it sounds really funny. People are like, what? But what that is everything we do with our money is kind of like a gamble, right? It's like, will it work? Will it not work? But it's about increasing the intuition to make sure that timing is never, they're saying really clear, you guys, that timing will never be a perfect timing. But for you, it's also putting things in different areas. So you must have been looking at having like spreading your stuff out. So if one goes down a little bit, the other one goes out. So I actually see lots of different avenues, and you can see that you have energy in all of them, which then actually increases your wealth vibe. And no matter what happens externally, you're actually growing and you look okay.
Okay. Thank you.
How does that feel when I actually shift that?
It feels neutral, feels good.
Yeah. And when you look at the different areas that you can actually place your money and then increase your wealth vibe, how does that feel now? You seem to have 5 or 6 different places that you're actually looking at to be able to put your money.
Yeah, that's correct. More than one. And I'm kind of like, does this feel right? And then I'm reading the reports and I'm like, well, this person is working with this person, but I know he's not fully in integrity. So it's like, it kind of leaves a bit of a doubt, even though the person who's giving you the info is full on integrity, but the other one isn't. And you're like, it raises all those questions.
Yeah. And it raises that because also some things they're different. They look different. They feel different. Right. And so what we'll do is we'll just align the energy. And if you never feel totally comfortable, this is what I always say to people. So I know for me, when I place money or things, like with my money, I'm just going to give what I do is I always like, do I feel good? Have I got all the information? And when I don't, even if there's a hesitation, you always have to be discerning. So if it's a little bit you've put there because you want to, that's fine. But go with the spirit of discernment. If it doesn't feel good, then you move it out. You just don't even put it on your table, right? So the energy, and that's what's getting into the intuition, is you got to move that energy off and say there's still something uncomfortable. So this is, if there's something uncomfortable you guys are looking at, this is where we go into making sure that we strengthen you to be in the space of asking and being strong to keep asking for what you're asking, like what you're looking for, right? More questions, and you're totally in that right to have that. And if you go, that doesn't feel so good, then just wait. just wait. Okay. So again, we don't want to do what everybody else does. You want to do what fits for you, and which might fit for you or me might look a little different, for example, or somebody else, right? So we're going to increase that. And then again, the reason I say with the gambling and what I'm shifting for everybody right now, listening, I'm going to move this in the energetic field here, is there's an energy as well as when people start to accumulate or make money, sometimes they leave things in pots too long, right? So I know when I do things in the past, I would do that. I would leave it too long. And then I'm like, oh, even though my gut said take it out. So now I have my own little check stops and radars where I move my money or I take it out of one place, move it to another. So when you're dealing with your money, it's got to be your friend. Where you're like, okay, you've been there for a little while. Oh, party's over. Let's go home now, right? So you take it out. If you start to look at your money that way, then you'll start to say, okay, I don't get into. So what happens with most people, they see the money accumulate and there's a spirit of greed that comes in and expectations that come in. And I can remove that for everyone because everyone has it. Everyone listening, you're not immune. So we'll remove that accumulation of energy and we're going to increase you all now to say, I'm discerning. So I made a little bit. I'm happy. Time to go home tonight now. Party's over, right? Made a little bit over here. I'm happy. Now we're going to pull that out. And then just to see. And then the reason I say increase the spirit of what it would be gambling for people, because no matter where you put your money, really, it's always a gamble, right? So you don't know. It doesn't matter what area you're in. So it's about having that energy nice and strong so you can make better decisions. So as I move this out of your field and explain it that way to you and move that energy to you, how does that feel now?
Feels complete. It feels like it's right.
Yeah. And if you just follow what feels really good, don't worry, you're not going to miss any boats. If there's something about missing out, I'm going to get rid of that for everybody listening. You're not going to miss any boats. There's lots of opportunity that keeps cycling back.
Perfect. Thank you.
Does that feel better?
It does. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Have a great day.
You too. Take care then. Bye.
Yeah. You know what? So, and these are good questions and good energies to start to shift because sometimes we feel like maybe we've missed the boat or we've got information from people or you might get information from the past. It's sort of, when I started to do my journey, a lot of people would say, oh, that's nonsense or don't do this or don't do that. And there's so much misinformation and misinterpreted information, but I had to keep going back to how did I feel about it? Because everybody has an opinion and everybody has a past. Like, heck, like you meet people and they go, oh, I knew them 10 years ago. And so remember, guys, that someone 10 years ago, if they've done their work, isn't the same as they were yesterday. So we want to make sure that we really stay in that flow. And I just want to increase, again, the financial flow for each and every one of you. So think of where your pattern is right now. Think about what your pattern's been right now. And are you in truth really ready to break up with that pattern? Are you in truth ready for an expansion in the heart frequency so you can have more ease and grace and more flow in your world without struggle and without, that strife and without that doubt? Because when that doubt comes in, we forget that all our needs are met. And what happens, especially in North America, that people feel that if they chase more, they're going to get more things settled in their life. And this is a big energy right now. That's why consumerism is so big, right? And it's not saying you can't have beautiful things or nice things, but they're looking for that vibe. So everywhere by accumulating means you can have more peace. That energy we have to remove. Okay. So we want to remove is we have peace, knowing our needs are met now. And that I'm going to increase. And you got just a spirit of discernment so we can make sure that each and every one of you are strong with how you interact with your money and where you put it. Okay, so looking at this looks like in the heart frequency, it looks very muddy for a lot of you guys because there's not proper information or education. And then where there's fears around learning more or fears around taking action and learning more. I hear this a lot from people when we talk about different ways. They say, Tracy, I want to invest in something different in my life. And I'm like, well, then you need to go learn. You need to ask a lot of questions. I don't have time for that. And anywhere you've done this in your life, I want to thank that God removing that because it's really important that I reset you, that if it's important to you, it has to be a priority. No different when people say to me, how did you restore your life? It was important for me to get healthy. I had to do it at all costs. So if your finances are important to get on track, what are you willing to do at all costs to make them get back on track? What are you willing to do? And it may mean that you have to go have a part-time job, but what are you willing to do to change it? What are you willing to do to make a difference? What are you willing to do for you to make yourself a priority, to make yourself important? I know we have to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Mila as soon as we come back after the break. So thank you. We'll get to that. I want to encourage you guys to, for our Transformation Talk Radio listeners, we've put on a special for you guys on the Effortless Realm. You save $10 a month. You get shifted every Monday. You get to enjoy our global online call, which we're doing one tonight, actually. And tonight is 90 minutes in the webinar. It's going to be a lot of fun answering your questions, shifting through your fears, or increasing more of what you require. And so I want to encourage you to check that out. It's just for everybody that listens here, and it's a great way to stay connected. So stay tuned. We're going to be back right after the break with Mila.
If you struggle with fear and anxiety, you know how powerless and stuck these emotions can make you feel. You've tried everything, but nothing helped you overcome these blocks. Dr. Friedman Schaub, award-winning author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, created a special program which helped thousands of his clients to become healthy, happy, and confident again. Learn how to eliminate negative self-talk, let go of your emotional baggage, and replace limiting beliefs. With Dr. Friedman's accelerated program, you can break through your challenges. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com.
People often ask, what does it mean to thrive? On Thrive by Jen Radio, it means body confidence, mind fulfillment, and soul synchronicity. Create synchronicity with God and learn as Jen shares action steps and real stories that will inspire you to be unstoppable in fulfilling your purpose. Tune in live each Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com and visit JenniferZellup.com to thrive with Jen.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
Have you discovered the remarkable books at angelhealinghouse.com? Author Claire Candy Hoff has channeled rare books of inspiration and insight.
Angels of Faith is an inspiring story of healing, comfort, and hope that reminds us that death is not to be feared, but embraced with joy.
One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness takes readers on a roller coaster ride through Angel Ariel's 5 most important lives on Earth, as well as her experiences in the afterlife, and helps us remember our own journey across the veil.
And Claire Candy's autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, which details the 2003 soul exchange that took place when Claire Candy walked out of her body and Angel Ariel walked in, creating heaven on earth for herself and others.
To find out more about these wonderful books, visit angelhealinghouse.com today.
Tune in to Knowledge Book Radio with host Marge Potasic each Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Through many experiences, Marge was led to the Knowledge Book, a gift to humanity in its transition to the Golden Age, and it provided the truth and the answers. She now shares information from the Knowledge Book with you each week on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net.
Thank you for everybody listening, being patient on the line. We're going to get right into your questions so we can get through as many as possible. We're just going to bring Mila on, Carter.
Yep, Mila from Mississauga. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Good. What's your question today?
Yeah. So I just wanted to, I feel like I still have some blocks around money and career, and if I do, I'd love to have them removed. I often feel like I'm moving forward, or I feel like something big and great is coming. So I'm just kind of at the point, too, where I don't know if it's coming and just to be patient, or if I'm doing things in the meantime that are creating like additional blocks, or I'm blocking it from coming in.
No, you're actually correct. It is coming. This is one of the feelings I say to people that drives me nuts too. It's, it's there and now you're waiting. Trust me, I get it still all the time. Like when I know I'm moving or something's changing, I'm like, I know it's there, but I can't see it right now, but I can feel it. It's there. And then sure enough, it shows up. You are exactly right. It is there. It's on its way. There's some pretty big breakthroughs. The things you've been asking for and shifting, you can see it's, so it's very clear. It's like that behind the scenes stuff. And I know people go, I don't want to hear that, but I get chills. You can see where it's like the right people have to come together for the right timing. So you've been asking, you've been in the right direction. You're not going crazy or anything. So I'm going to increase that. But there's also a little bit of the frustration and the boredom, right? Waiting for this and going, I can feel it. And then that's creating a little bit of doubt in the field. So I am going to remove that accumulation of energy for you. And you've really been doing a whole redesign of your life. Like you can see there's a lot of old stuff that has just gone off. You've done good. It's leaving. And now it's kind of like you're at the train. You're like, where's the train? Where's the train? I'm here. I'm waiting to get on. Yeah. So it is there and you can see it's coming for it. So I'm going to see if I can actually collapse some time frames for you. It's just really clear. Your guys to say like, keep really busy, just keep really busy. Don't get distracted in the things that like in the mental space, be distracted in the play space. And then when I say that, I can actually collapse some of the timing. And then it looks like we can line up, you're lining up. So what's happening is your energy field, your spirit team is lining up the right people. And it's because your foundation is getting stronger. So you don't have to go through the total collapse. Like, how you have to bring down a house and rebuild it. You've already done that. So now your foundation looks like it's really getting strong. So I'm just going to remove some blocks, resistance, and hesitations. And you've done great work. So you can see your system is expanding a lot more. So this also is going to bring in new people and you have to be prepared for that different frequency. It might feel a little bit foreign at first. Like your intuition might feel like it's off. It's not. It's just because that frequency of them is just, it's different, but it's a higher frequency where you've bumped to as well. So you're right in that gap. You can see it, the old and the new, and you're right in the middle. So let's collapse a little bit more.
Okay.
And it shows to keep asking, like just keeping that. It's already done. It's already done. It's here. I know that I'm changing. My wealth frequencies change. So, and remember too, it just shows to increase so you can feel it a little bit more in the vibration. You changed it internally. The frequency's gone out and now it's just drawing in the new. So I'm going to expand your peripheral vision a little bit further back so you can see more as well and feel more when these people show up and you're like, oh my God, that's the right place. That's the right place to work. That's the right place to be. And there's extra money over there as well. So all the things you've been putting into place are actually, we've got some timing moving. So that I actually really like. How does that feel in your body when I say that?
It actually feels really good.
Yeah. So stay.
It feels good.
Yeah, it does. So stay in that field. Just hold that feeling you have now and like, thank you, God, universe, divine. It's already done. It is done. And I'll just keep in the play energy and that it is play. And it's funny. I said that just like before break because I never knew. It's like, you must've been the one that's coming through. Cause when I say things, it's always like what I hear. Right. But here you are. They're saying, tell her to play more, be in that space. And that'll keep you out of anything that'll plug up your field.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. All right. Let me know how you do, okay?
I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
All right. We're going to go to Jennifer from Toronto, Carter.
Sure. 1 second. Here we go. Jennifer from Toronto. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Jennifer. What's your question today?
My question is like everything else with the money. Changing the patterns and getting more flow. Because with the exercises that you've been giving us to do, I'll tell you what happened. I've realized that I'm a giver just like my parents, but especially my dad. He didn't even give when he didn't have. And I'm trying to break the cycle. Yes. And I'm still giving sometimes where I don't have, it's gotten better. I'm not giving out of obligation now.
Yes.
Before I used to give out of obligation. I've cut that off. But
excellent.
sometimes I see that there's people in need. For example, a friend of mine's kid passed away in an accident 2 weeks ago, and I gave them something, and somebody else knew, and the comment that was made, I have money to throw away. And I'm saying, wow, is that how people perceive? I don't have money to throw away. I'm just trying to give and to help people themselves. So I don't know how could I get rid of this so that my money can finally change.
Accumulate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you were saying, so you're in the Miraculous program, so we do a lot of different financial pulls in that in different times of the month. So what I love that you've gotten rid of obligation. Money to throw around really hurt you because it's like they see you in a much greater capacity. So this is good. They see you in a greater capacity than what you have right now. So we're going to increase that for you because you know what I do? And I have unlimited flow. So we're going to change the energy. You can feel that's a little bit lighter. But also by giving into that family, you also knew that that was the right thing to do. That was actually very good. And that actually shows coming back to you. But what I want to break is actually, so where you, so giving and receiving, we're going to balance it a little bit differently. I'm going to actually remove some patterns off you to your dad to you. Okay. Of where we give, because his pattern was more, there was a struggle between giving of the heart and giving to be seen. It was a very big difference of struggle, and then some old patterns and programs. And also there's a part of him that you can see is, well, I have more than they. So if I have a penny and they have none, I still have way more. Right. So this is actually, there's some really good energy in here. We can actually spin towards you, but I'm going to actually also remove an increase where you take care of yourself, and then they're showing to like a pie. So we have to like break your pie out a little bit differently. And what we can do for a little bit is really interesting in the pie is, and it's a harder one given your dynamics, but to give more of your time right now versus your money. So if you have the time, great. If you don't, that's okay. But you'll start to discern where you want to give your time. So it's like, I'm not able to financially contribute to that for you, but would you like me to maybe shed a new light on this or a new perspective on this for you? And when I throw that energy in, it actually starts to increase the giving and the receiving, but also we can tether it through to the third component, which is the flow. So as the flow comes through, and because there's something still in your field that it has to be very busy and very hard, like hard to generate money. And when I say that and see that, it's very ancestral. It's not even you. So what I like is it's not you. It's showing ancestral. Like we have to work hard to get anything like that. You know how we talk about being slaves to our money, right? And then we don't want to be like that. So it's like we got to work really hard just to get a few pennies. So are you okay if we remove that pattern?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure. So let's remove that accumulation and open it. I'm going to thank that hand God of imparting into your space and everyone listening that it doesn't have to be hard, that actually it can flow. It's just, and to remind you. So this is your little affirmation is it's just a frequency. It flows with ease and grace. It's just a frequency. Money flows with ease and grace. It's just a frequency. Money flows with ease and grace. And so I want you to repeat that a little bit more. Everybody else can too as well, but you can, as I'm saying this, your heart drive, so your heart area, there's some clinching. Yeah, you're releasing. There we go. Thank you, God. Yeah. Burp it all out. That's good. So let's expand the heart drive. And you're going to see there's going to be thought programs that comes up. There's going to be emotional programs that'll come up while you just say that. Feel your body, what comes up, and then tap, thank you, God, release, let go. Thank you, God, release, let go on that heart drive. The simple tool that you can find on the YouTube. How does that feel now?
A lot better. It's coming up. I feel something stuck in my heart, actually. I know it's moving, but I feel something stuck in there.
Yeah. And this is the plug that I'm pulling out. And this is where I said it's clinching, right? So I want you to say that saying that I gave you. And it shows to do it for like every day for at least the next 7 to 10 days, as many times as you can remember. So I would write it down and carry it and then release. So we'll open all the exit valves energetically. You have exit valves all over your body. We're going to open up the heart drive, and it's like running a deletion virus, right? Your body, like the computer. So we're going to, you know how you scan the body with a virus scanner? Yeah, we're scanning the body up and down, up and down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Everyone's like, why? What's happening here?
I'm releasing. I know. Yeah.
Letting go. So let it go and then do that exercise and then let me know how you're feeling, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Tracy, as always.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
So we're going to go up to Meg from Toronto. Carter?
Looks like we actually lost Meg. Sorry about that.
I know we've been on the hold. Do we have Lewis, you said, from Toronto? Is that correct?
Yeah. Let's see, what park is he on? Jumping all over the place. All right.
I know we're today.
All right, Louis from Toronto. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you. I recently was put on to you by my friend Sheila. She said you can potentially help.
Yes, absolutely.
So my issue with finances, actually, is I lost my job a while ago, and I've just been struggling to find a new one. And financially, I'm basically treading water, barely keeping my head above, but it's going. But for my issue, it's more I'm trying to pivot my career, and it's just dead ends everywhere. And I'm trying to find what is the issue that isn't really working here and not connecting.
Yeah, because you're changing directions, and you have actually, when you change direction, wow, you might make me burp and gag, which I do when I move energy, so don't take it personally. Like looking. So there's an imprinting actually in your field. It comes from very young, from school, and it's an imprinting that, and you'll be able to tell me when this starts to trigger a feel with you, but basically there's rules in life. So rules in life from school, which we all know are not true. I'm going to remove this. We go to school, we learn one thing, that's our job, that's where we go, that's what we do. And if you change direction, oh my gosh, like the world might fall down. Like there's a system your body wants to follow. And it's something you've actually picked up both in your family structure, but also in the school system. Doesn't mean that people have to say you can never change, but it's by watching, because you're very sensitive, you're very empathic. You watch people all the time, and you watch where they're going, what they're doing. And so you just pick this up by watching, experiencing, listening, and feeling. So now that you're actually changing direction, the frequency is like, wait a minute, this isn't what we do. We're supposed to follow a system. I'm proud of you for changing direction, because you're actually very intuitive and going, I know I need to change direction. I'm ready for something new. And the energy wants to go there. So you can feel that, can't you?
Oh, big time. I know that this is the right choice. Yeah,
this is the right choice, and you feel that. So what I'm going to do is remove this accumulation of energy at the root and the cause of the systems that you were basically brought up in. So they're imprints and patterns, right? We're told you do this, you do that, you do this. You know how we were told that through school. So what's right, what's wrong? So as you've been expanding your awareness and becoming more connected, you are actually heading into the right direction. There's also a group of they're old energy. So I call them people, places, and things that see you in one light, that see you in doing one thing one way, like that's who you are, right? So as you're changing the new direction, you've got a lot of resistance here. Like, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? Like, wait a minute. No. Even though people can say to you, oh, follow what you love and do what you love, and we're supportive, there's a lot of hesitation and resistance from outside people. So I'm going to remove this accumulation of other people's expectations and opinions. It's kind of like, when you got to get the breakthrough, a lot of people, they'll move towns, right? They're like, these people don't know me. They know me in this new space, not the old space. So you have a lot of energy holding you back from what you used to do before. How does that feel when I say that?
It feels really good, actually. It feels kind of right. It makes some sense.
Yeah. So I want to remove all of this accumulation of energy from you, from everybody that wants you to stay in your old you. Because also when you and this whole door opens up to your new path, you got a lot of people that are afraid of what that looks like for them in terms of your past, of how they've seen you and how you've interacted and how you've been. And that scares them. So it creates a block. So it's actually not even very little of this is your block. It's actually other people that don't want you to do the change. So that's what I'm going to unplug from you. Yeah. They're afraid. Who do you become now if you're somebody different? How does he fit in our world now? What's that going to look like now? So that projected energy, and it's a spirit of projection energy, I'm going to bind it up and start to remove it so we can increase you, strengthen you on the new path, and for you to keep going. So if people say things that you're like, why would they say that? Just say to your body, that's interesting. I'm going to let that go. Body, I'm not going to take that in, because what it'll do is drop the energy. So when that energy drops, then it won't affect you and it won't affect where you're going. And then it's like, okay, today's that new day. I'm actually looking, I'm pulling in. This is already done. I'm ready to go. I'm on the right path. You are on the right path. Like your whole path is green, like energetically, which is usually when I see that, it's like go, right? Like you're in the right place. So what I'm going to do is strengthen you as well to the new people, the new places, to start to pull them in and to pull them in towards you. So now they see you for what you're doing now. And these are new people. So they're not going to have a big reference of really who you were before, so to speak, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start to correct this for you. And now, how does that feel? How does that feel when you like, yeah, I'm on the right path. I'm ready to go. Those people don't need to interfere with me.
It feels good. It feels very affirming because I know what I was doing before and what I want to do forward. Yes, they're connected, but they're very different.
They're very different. Yeah. And your information, your creative downloads, so basically your mental thought processes are going to start to come through. Really keep writing them, because it looks like you're going to get a lot more what I call downloads, which means information of creative ideas. And you'll be like, where did I get that from? Follow it. Just keep going. You might have a little bit of doubt, like this seems a little funny, but you're going to see how your teams have put all the pieces together. And it's really, so now when you show up in front of the new people that are going to help you, they're just going to love what you're actually offering and why you're there. And you can really see fading fast is like your old self. So you have to understand, it's like you're shedding an old skin, but just be very discerning too who you tell about your new direction, and make sure that they're really 100% supportive. Because if they're not, that's what's going to plug up your energetic field.
Okay. That totally works.
Awesome. So I'm going to thank that. I'm going to strengthen that in your vibration, in the frequency of the heart space. I'm going to open that up a little bit more, and then let me know what transitions. Okay.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. You have an incredible day.
You too. Take care. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. We'll see you again. All right. We have Magdalena on the line. Is that correct, Carter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Magdalena from Kitchener. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, how are we? What's your question today?
I have a question for you that's been coming up actually for the last few days or maybe even a week about my partnership with my husband. Like, he's the breadwinner, but lately, the last few days, what I've been noticing is I'm having a hard time discerning the feeling, but it's something around like resentment. Where I feel like I'm moving really quickly emotionally and spiritually, but I feel like he's not keeping up with me.
Yeah.
And I know that's keeping me from a place of being humble and grateful for all that he's providing for me.
Okay, so let's remove that and let's actually change that perception for you to understand that he's going to catch up. He's just on a little bit of a different timing than you, but that will show you to him, him to you, to see that he wants to learn, he's moving and he's shifting. He's providing right now because of the transition you guys are going through, but then to be in that gratitude with him and to really trust. And I'm going to just change your field of perception and change a little bit. I'm going to reverse a little bit of the awareness to see that he's actually come quite far. And even though you're moving quickly, that don't worry, he's not going to be left behind. He wants to keep up with you. He just has to stop for a little bit, digest, whereas you can just go, right? So he just needs to digest and then he can move forward. How does that feel when I shift that for you?
I feel like there's it's more distant, and but I feel like there's something at the back of this situation. Like there's almost like it's not quite gone yet. Like there's something at the back. Like I feel almost like a gap between my back and something behind me.
Yeah, it's a fear that of past that he's never gonna catch up. It's an unfounded fear, so let's remove that he wouldn't catch up.
Okay.
And then there's an unfounded fear. What would that look like for the family if he doesn't? And we keep going. So I'm going to remove some misinformation, and we'll pull that off the back. And things of the past that you guys have worked through, let's start to drop them off. We're heading into a new phase. He is being nice and increased to wanting to keep up, to wanting to be in that space with you. So let's reset all of that for you and him and you. And then we'll just pull the fears out a little bit deeper. Anybody's got fears, let's pull that out. And I'm just going to brush through the back, your back. So everything that's been behind you, everything that you're worried about that wouldn't shift or where he couldn't keep up, and where he hasn't kept up in the past, and where you're referencing those points, right? Where he couldn't keep up in the past with you, but that you can grow, he can catch up. You can grow, he can catch up. And that seems to be just the pattern. And that I'm going to increase the frequency for you to be okay with that, to be like, this is all right. This can work this way. So when I do that, how does that feel?
More clear, like there's more ability for us to be on the same page, because that's been definitely a little bit of a fear in the next, in the last little bit.
Yeah, and you are on the same page. You just remember, you see things a little bit differently because you're different human beings. So I'm just going to remind that, because when I remind that into the system, you're also working to get a new rhythm with each other, right? So as your family's changing and expanding, you're working to get into a new rhythm. What does it look like? What are the roles? What are we going to be doing? You know, like how does it change when children come into the picture? So you guys are just recalibrating. So I'm going to recalibrate that energy. And then what you'll see is they'll be like, wow, I'm grateful that he's able to provide, but I can see how he's partaking differently, because you can see he has his own little fears he's letting go of. And once he lets those go, and once you guys have your family unit change a little bit more, watch it in the next couple of months, you can see that it just feels like a flows back again, and that you guys have found this new rhythm with each other, which is actually quite lovely, because you can see that you're really, really important to him. And, I can't say that all the time. Like sometimes I have to be very careful as I say that. And he's just wanting to let go, and then he's going to catch up, and then you'll see it. So we'll remove that accumulation one more time at the back of the fear of what you went through and before, how you guys got to where you are now, and what the new. So we have to adjust the past, the present, and the future. And if anybody listening has stuff that you want to let go of, we have to make sure we increase the frequencies with your past, your present, and your future. Okay, so we'll reset that. Does that feel better?
Thank you. Yeah. It does, yeah. Like it feels much more open. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Have an incredible day. Thank you for
Tracy.
calling.
Thank you again. Welcome. Bye-bye.
Hi. I know we had so many callers on the line, and please keep calling in. We want to continue to shift you and sift you. And I'm always sorry we can't get to everybody, but we're always here. You can check us out on our online events. They're all streamed if you can't make it in person. If you are making it in person and you're in the Toronto area, every live event, I do a hands-on for everybody that's there. So I will do a hands-on clearing for everybody, because people who know me, I do a lot of work with my hands. And we want to make sure that you get that. So if you can't get onto the radio show, or you want to live stream something, we're constantly providing different ways that you can work with our community, work with me energetically, shift what you want to get through. And it's why I love the show here. And we try to get through as many as possible, but we are down into an hour. And we also want to make sure that we shift as much of your, like today, your money flow and everything that's coming through. So please know that we have that. Please check out the retreat. You can learn what we're doing there. Our soul getaway is probably the better way to call it. On the beach, having some fun. And the effortless realm is a great way to constantly be shifted every week, start of your week, making sure that you're cleared and you're really staying in the flow. You're becoming aware of yourself and what's happening. You really become more intuitive, less mental programming, and your spirit of discernment will become a lot stronger. But you'll also find that you'll get those hurdles will come up. And I do the programs in that way to make sure that I do trigger you and I do challenge you, because when we get our triggers and our challenges, that's meaning triggers, you get upset or you get irritated. That's when you know there's something in you that's ready to come out. That's when you know you're ready to have a new relationship with your body, with your friends, with your finances, with your career. There's a new way of interacting. And this is what becomes so amazing, because you really become the leader of your life and your world. And so often we end up following just patterns. And this is my biggest blessing to each and every one of you, is I want to thank the hand of God at breaking the patterns. I said a weird deja vu, breaking the patterns and the resistance that you're really, really aware of, that you said, I've been in this long enough. I don't need to have this anymore. And all the new opportunities when they come, whatever they look like, big or small, that the level of the gratitude and the expansion comes like you've never seen or felt before. Comes in a way you've never seen and felt before, comes in a being and a feeling. And everywhere we can get you in the space of letting go of the mental process, and your body, your soul, your spirit becomes in charge of that mind, watch what happens. The mind becomes a creative flow that's going to change your life. So I want to thank all of you for joining us. I want to thank everybody this week. We're going to be right back here, same time, every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Make sure you bookmark us. Don't miss it. Everything I shift for somebody, I shift for you. So check us out, tracylclark.com, and I hope to see you and meet you within the community and hear how the hand of God is changing your life. See you guys all next week, right here, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality, revealing the steps you need to transcend perceived limitations. As a remarkable leader and pioneer in my field, I, Tracy L., will provide insights energetically and the tools required to move you forward. For more information on my partnership program, check us out at tracylclark.com.